Today I'm here to share with you how I take the train from here in Wiesbaden, Germany. Information I'm going to share with you in this video can be used to take the train from other places here in Germany or even in Europe. But for this video specifically, I'm going to use Wiesbaden as an example. The first part of this video is going to share with you how to take the train within our region, the Rhineland-Pfalz region. The way Germany does it, they have different ways of managing the transportation systems within the different regions. Different regions, like the region down in Stuttgart, for example, they have different deals and different ticket structures and different kiosk machines for that region that's more tailored to the way people travel within that region. The second part of this video, I'm going to share with you how to use the train to travel outside of our region. When deciding whether or not to take the train, there are some obvious things to consider. Whenever I set out to plan a trip to visit somewhere, the first thing I look at is where it's at on the map. Throw it into Google, pull up the driving route and see how far it really is. I'll throw it into flight booking app. I personally like Skyscanner, where you can just use Google Flights and try and get an idea of what the flight times, distances, flights available, and the cost of flights is. Finally, that's when I'll turn to my train apps and get an idea of how long it would take me to travel there on the train, how many stops it would be, and how much that would cost. Once I kind of have a rough overview of those things, I can decide whether it's best to drive, take a train, or take a plane. Some examples of this are my last trip to Croatia. Plane was by far much cheaper and easier. As well as Vienna. Lufthansa offers so many flights a day, and it was just easier to, actually it wasn't easier, it was just cheaper to book a flight, and it took less time. Often when I'm considering whether the train or the flight will be less time and less money, I also factor in all of the time involved, all the time it takes me to get to the train station and get on the train and travel there, versus all the time that it would take if I book a flight to take the train to the airport, to be there approximately 1 to 2 hours early, to travel from the airport to the city center once I reach my travel destination. Those are all things that I look at when I compare how much time it takes to take a plane versus take a train. And then when it comes to looking at taking a car, things I consider is where there is parking and how close I can get to the city center, or if the best plan is to park outside the city and take a train in. Some examples of that are Paris. My last trip to Paris, I actually did drive because there were 4 of us, and taking the car was more economical. However, in the end it did turn out to be kind of a close one, with fuel prices and tolls that are required to travel from here to Paris. So, you've decided to take the train, or maybe you just want to do a little research and see how much it will cost or how long it will take. Grab your smartphone and go to either the App Store or Google Play and search for the Deutschbahn app and download it. Once you open the app, this is the screen that you'll be met with. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. You have wherever you want to begin your journey from, and then you have your final destination. You also have the date you wish to travel, what time, and that bottom bar is how many people will be traveling and whether they are an adult, a child, or if they have any of the Deutschbahn discount cards. First, we select where we're beginning from. And here I've put Wiesbaden Hauptbahnhof. Next, we'll put where we're going. As you can see in this example, I started to type Rudesheim. However, it is with the umlauts over the U, so I had to go back and type it correctly, and it pops up. Next, I'm going to go in and pick the date I wish to travel. And finally, the departure time. Obviously, you saw you could set arrival time if you'd rather, and this is where you select how many travelers and of what type the travelers will be. And we hit search. As you can see, they go there every hour at 33 past the hour, and there are also some other trains added in. Once you select which train and train times look the most interesting to you, it brings you to this screen. This screen is an overview of the train and all the different stops the train will make. As you can see, it doesn't offer an option to purchase the tickets. Now that you've selected your train and you know what time it's leaving, it's time to head to the train station. Here, as soon as you walk in the train station, you'll see one of these kiosks that I'm walking up to. Select your language of choice, and if sometimes it doesn't take your selection immediately, try again. Next, enter your destination. For this example, we're going to again use Rüdesheim. Here you select Rüdesheim am Rhein and the Rüdesheim Bahnhof. Next, select which train you'd like to take, which departure time. From this screen, you can select which type of ticket you would like. There are several options. This option is for immediate boarding only. It doesn't cover your return journey or round trips, and it also does not include the IC, EC, or ICE trains. Here you have the all-day ticket, which, unlike the other one, is for a round trip. And finally, there's the all-day collective, which is there and back and for up to 5 people. Doesn't have to be 5, but no more than 5. Pick whichever ticket you'd like and select it, the type of travelers, and the date you'll be traveling. And this is the page where you pay. We'll go back and try another option, and for this one, we'll look at the price of the all-day collective ticket. You can see the difference. Definitely worth it if there's more than 2 people traveling. And finally, we'll look at some other options. For this example, if you wanted to go to the Frankfurt airport, it's important to know that you have 2 options that are 2 different tariff stages. They're 2 different cost categories. And for nearly all examples that I've ever encountered, usually I'm just going straight to the airport, so I don't need to actually go into the city center of Frankfurt. It's actually kind of out of the way. Where we are, it's more direct just to go straight to the airport. And finally, I'm going to show you guys that there's an option for the Hessen ticket, which is for up to 5 people, and it's for the whole day, as many journeys as you would like in the Hessen region. Now, on to the next part of this tutorial, where we're going to talk about how you can book tickets if you want to travel outside of the region. For this example, we're going to use Heidelberg. We're going to pick our date, our time, and edit the travelers that are going. And just like before, once we search, we'll get several different train options. Here you can see several different prices, all the different times. Unlike with Rüdesheim, you have many more options. On the right, you see changes. That's how many different times you'll have to get off the train and get onto another train. The second row shows the different types of trains you'll be taking, whether it's an RB train, an IC train, all the different places that they will stop. And the bold ones are the places you will change trains. For this one, you would change trains in Darmstadt with 16 minutes between to change. For here, you can see, again, you change in Darmstadt, you'd only have 9 minutes, and you'd have to travel from platform 8 to platform 10. This one, instead, you'll travel to Mainz and change train in Mainz. Once you've selected the train that you'd like to take, it takes you to the screen where you can select your price. You are given the option of Spar price, Flex price, or first class Spar price. Spar price is saver price basically, and Flex price is flexible. With the Spar price, you are only ticketed for the exact trains listed on your ticket that you just selected. With the Flex price, even though you selected that you were going to take certain trains, you have the flexibility to take any of the trains that offer service between your beginning and end destination. Here you can see for the €29.90, It's a first class, but it's saver price, so you're only booked on the specific trains, and it also includes a seat reservation. So instead of having to get on the train and hunt around for a seat, you'll have an exact car and seat on that car specified for you. Once you've selected your ticket type, you also have the option to go ahead and book your return ticket. You can do this, and sometimes you save a little money, but not necessarily because you're booking round trip like it is on airlines. It's more because you're booking it earlier. The difference would be you could wait until you're ready to head back to book it, but since it's closer to the time the trains are leaving, the price may be a little bit more expensive. You just have to weigh the options. If you're not sure exactly when you're going to be leaving, it might be worth it to wait or to get a flex price return ticket rather than risking missing your train altogether and having to buy a second one anyway. Now when you search the return trip, just like before, you have the options, and this price that it's showing you is the total price. So it's already given you your first ticket, and now it's showing you these are your options for the times and the number of changes you'd need to make and the cost that the entire ticket will be for you. Once you've booked your tickets, you can go into this side menu and go to My Tickets. Here, select the ticket that you've booked, and you have two options, timetable and mobile ticket. This is the ticket that you will show the conductor when they come around and check the tickets. You also have the timetable. Once you're en route, it will update throughout the course of the journey where the train is in the timeline. And another important thing is if there are any delays, it will be updated in there as well. So definitely keep checking back. This is some of what it might look like if there are delays along your route. Another thing to note is that if there are delays, if for some reason the train you're on is delayed and you're on a saver price ticket and you miss your connecting train, at that point you then have the option to select whichever train you would like between your location and the final destination that's on your ticket. Now it's time to head to your proper train. When you come into the train station, any train station in Europe, you'll usually find one of these large blue boards. There might be a few different ones placed different areas. There might also be even bigger ones that are black, but for the most part, these blue boards will show all the different trains that are coming, the time the train's leaving, some of the main stops along the route, and Gleis is track. So once you know which track your train is leaving from, look for the big numbers, and there'll also be a second sign to verify that you have the right one. This board doesn't necessarily show your stop. It shows probably the main stops along the route and the final destination. But when you book your ticket or have your ticket, you will have an idea of the final destination of that train, and that's the direction that you want to get on headed to. Another important thing to know is if any of this is at all confusing, every train station will have an office similar to this one. You can go in there, pull a number, wait, and they'll be very helpful. They speak English. You can tell them exactly where you want to go, and they will definitely be able to help find the best way to get you there. They will print out paper tickets for you. This is also another great option if while you're traveling to Europe, you will be traveling without cell phone service. Now all that's left to do is head on over and get onto your train. As you can see, the number 1 and 2 on the side of that train is the class that that car or that level of car is. So whether you have a first or a second class ticket determines whether on the train on the left you would go to the second level, or if you have a second class ticket, stay on the first level, and the train on the right, since it's not a double-decker train, just has individual cars designated as first or second class. Pick a seat, make sure it's not reserved, and settle in for the ride. Well, I hope some of this information helps you, and I hope that next time you're planning a trip, taking the train doesn't seem so scary, and maybe it'll turn out to be an awesome adventure. Bye! And finally, I will leave you with my favorite part of the Wiesbaden train station, the Dunkin' Donuts.